the movement and breath, we will come to the stillness, silence and beingness. So many times it is very effective to do a movement and a fast breath so that you could feel the quietness afterwards. You know, we always balance with the opposites. So we always come out of our comfort zones. We move our foundations beneath our feet so that we could find a new balance. So consciousness needs to be moved. You know, this is the alchemy. This is the alchemy of transformation of consciousness. So our consciousness needs to be moved out of the mind, out of the body, because in the normal body, so-called normal body, the consciousness is fully identified with the mind and body. And if I would ask you, are you aware of your consciousness? Many of you would be like, oh, what's that? You know? So because now it is mixed up with your thoughts, with your mind, with your body. But when we come to a satsang, when we come to meditation, we start to unmix. We start to separate consciousness from the mind and body. And there we come to recognize the light, the love, the freedom and bliss which is inherent into every human being. So that is within each and one of you, but it is unrecognized. It is unseen. It is deemed to be unworthy or not important, you know. Every morning when you wake up, you're instantly greeted by your thoughts. You know, so the mind captures your attention instantly, every morning, and throughout most of the day. But we don't recognize that the moment when we wake up, who really wakes up first? So what wakes up first? So let's try to separate and try to discover what actually wakes up first in the morning. So as you wake up, you may say, well, I open my eyes and I see my room, and my schedule is instantly in my head, you know, everything I have to do today, you know, like a auto reminder. But before your mind comes in, that is called the waking state. The waking state in which you are now, it is also the same state to which you wake up in the morning, the waking state. before the waking state, there is a dream state, isn't it? So you dream, you perceive dreams. Some maybe travels, or meeting some people, or maybe some nonsense, or all kinds of dreams step into your head. So that is called the dream state. Sometimes we also experience between the dream and the waking state, where we are kind of a little bit dozed off. Maybe it's called daydreaming, daydreaming. Or it's also called a light meditation. If you bring more awareness, it is a light meditation. So it's a state in between the dream state and the waking state. Now, when you are in the waking state, you have a very strong sense that that is you. When you are in a dream state, you still have a sense that that is you. You are experiencing the dreams. You are experiencing what is happening there. So the mind is even in the dream state. Your mind is in the waking state, your mind is in the dream state. If you had a difficult day, your dreams will start chasing you. You're going to start dreaming about your work. So the mind is also weaved into the dreams. That is also called subconsciousness or subconscious mind. But what allows you to perceive the dreams, the in-between state and the waking state? Did you ever ask yourself, what allows me to see my dreams? If you inquire a little bit deeper, you're gonna notice that in the dream there is a sense of you, a perception of the dreams, and what happens there. So as we go deeper into inquiry, and as we meditate, we can very clearly experience how our mind shifts into a light meditation, then into a deeper meditation, where we can perceive some visions, we can perceive some images, some colors. Many people tell me when they meditate, they see visions, and other people tell, why can't I see visions? And I say, visions are not important. What is important is meditation, is your awareness is important, not what you see in the meditation. My question is, who sees, not what you see. Do you understand the difference? So even whatever dreams you may have, the question is, who sees those dreams? And you will answer, that is me. But upon deeper inquiry, who is that me? If you try to pinpoint who is actually you, you're gonna say, oh, it's me. But is that your body? Is that sense of me is your arm or your chest or maybe your head? But can you separate you from your head and your chest? So when I ask you, where do you feel yourself? If you think you're going to say, oh, I feel myself here, or I feel myself here. So the sense of you is shifting. It goes into various places in the body. When you sleep, there is no body. But the sense of you is still there. So when you sleep, where is the body? Yeah, so the body is somewhere away. When we meditate, we may experience that we don't feel the body. So as we go deeper and deeper, even before waking up, we will recognize that the awareness wakes up first. The light of awareness wakes up first. And then instantly your mind comes in and gives you some dreams. And when you start waking up more, you start perceiving this body, and all the daily thoughts come in as well. So when we inquire into who is truly waking up in the morning, is that the body? We answer no, that's not the body. Because in the dream there is still you. Are these different dreams part of you? Yes, there can be thousands of different dreams. The sense of you as well is not stable. It's always shifting. You know, when you climb the mountain, when you are in the moment, you don't feel a sense of you, you feel the moment. You know, that is what is called being present. You are in the moment, you know, and it's so awesome. When you play a keyboard and when you paint a painting, you're in the zone. You know, so you become one with what you do. So the same way, we recognize that the sense of I is shifting. It is not stable, it is not permanent. So therefore, if we want to know who we truly are, we have to ask ourselves, who is that I? Who is that me which we so believe in? But that me always changes. You know, it's always changing. So meditation, the true meditation, is all about finding out the truth. Finding out who you truly are. And dispensing the illusion. You know, you heard many shamans and many spiritual people say that this life is an illusion. You know, so what do they mean by that? And they say, find out the truth. But what is the truth? So now I would like to ask some questions of you. How do you perceive the sense of you? Like, how could you describe the sense of you? It is a little exercise that we will do now, yes? So we will start with this side, with Victor.
I doubt I can explain it better than you would do, but, but the sense of me. It's definitely the awareness and it's always there. It's always there.
And now, do you feel that there is something there, or do you sense that there is something there, or do you clearly see the awareness?
I identify with that awareness. It's like I see myself as that awareness. But I was still kind of staying with what you said before about kind of what you present, that kind of slips away.
Yes.
Because you're present. And it wasn't something I noticed, but I was kind of staying with, my mind was still playing with that. So,
yeah, so when we come to the fundamental identity, you know, our identity is always changing. When you were a child, you identified with the child. When you were a teenage, you may be identified with the rock band. You know, when you became an adult, you identified with the job position, you know, I'm a manager, you know. You know, so we have so many identities, you know, I'm a father, I'm a husband, I'm a boyfriend, I'm this, I'm that, you know. There are so many identities which we carry.
I don't identify with this body, that's a different thing. Yes, this is fictile, but fictile isn't really me. So, I would say the simplest way is that awareness. And sometimes it slips. Or my, or in a sense, I get sucked into back into the world. It's always there when I look at it. Okay, I'm not here really.
And who is here now?
Here now. It is still me, but through this body, through...
There is energy which you feel, yes, energy. Yeah, so you're not that energy. Yes. Because what you sense now is the energy, and primarily Kundalini and chakras. Presence is impersonal. So presence is a much broader sense of energy. You kind of feel that the flowers and you are one. You know, so it is like oneness. The flowers and you are one. So when you're fully present, you wouldn't feel that there's a difference between me and you. You know, you would say, wow, that's just one thing. So practicing presence is try to feel the total energy field of this moment, not of you. Your personal energy field you can feel very well, but try to feel the total energy field and try to expand that feeling of the total energy field.
So linking the moment to the field. So,
yes.
So
everything which you're aware of now is the total energy field. Everything that you are aware of now is the total energy field. And then I would ask you further question, who is aware of this total energy field? All right? Yes, you know about it, but that's not your direct experience yet. Yes. You see, to inquire into the truth is a great skill. It's a great art. And it takes a whole lot of courage. Because you have to knock down 1 million walls. 1 million identities. So currently, majority of your identity is within your personal energy field. And try to relax your personal field and just to feel and relax into the whole energy field. And your body will start becoming more relaxed. So therefore you could feel and sense much more. So that way you step fully into presence. Okay. were speaking about the mind. The question is, who are you?
It's a great question, and it makes me feel like a bit of an idiot, actually, for myself. Because I've been an atheist all my life, or agnostic, and but I always felt that there is a third person, like seeing when I do something stupid, even if no one sees that I'm doing something stupid, there is someone on my shoulder.
Good. So let's take it slowly, yes? Because you're doing it the right way. So when you say that whatever, sometimes if I do this and that, I still feel that there is somebody there. Who is there?
Exactly, so I just discover what's not there, and that's the ego. The one who reacts when someone does something.
Okay.
So I just know what I'm not today.
Uh-huh.
I don't know what I am.
Can you, so do you see, can you observe yourself in this moment?
I think so, yeah.
Yes, just to observe yourself, like, what is my mind doing? What is my body doing?
Yeah.
What are thoughts coming into my mind? So spend some time to observe what is happening.
The thing is, the last month I've started to feel that this third person is becoming more and more my everyday.
Yes.
I'm going more and more into him and leaving
Yes.
the other.
That.
So I feel more out. It's a nice feeling.
Yes, it is. The third person, which you say it is your higher self. That's how it's called, the higher self. So to connect more fully with your higher self, the higher self is a higher yan, the bigger yan, you know, or the eternal yan. The one, the yan who is in heaven. Okay? So, or we could say it is your spirit as well. So to connect more fully with your higher self, with the bigger you, spend some time observing your mind and your body. And this is why the mind starts feeling a bit sometimes just funnily saying stupid, you know, but there is something deeper inside you which already can see that. So it says, oh, the mind is just playing the tricks, you know. It's the mind, it's you know, it's funny. So you are coming to a place of a higher self, and there you will discover deeper knowledge, which is called wisdom. So when you spend some time observing this body, observing your mind, observing what thoughts come into your mind, you will start gaining insights and realizations. And that is called wisdom, the inner wisdom. So this is where you are going now, and you already start sensing there's something much more which yet I don't understand, but I know there is something much more inside me. So your practice is to observe this body, this mind, the thoughts, the feelings, like quietly observe, to quietly observe, and then your higher self will flower. The inner wisdom will start coming forward. It is a very beautiful thing. Yes, it is gonna give you a lot of new knowledge. This is, at that point, many years ago, this is where I stopped reading books. because I recognized I have to know things from inside. Enough of books, I've read hundreds and hundreds and hundreds. I have worked, I've been working when I was a student in Amazon.co.uk, it's the biggest library in the world. Millions of books over there. So I used the opportunity to read a few of them, But later on I realized I have to find all the knowledge here. Enough of seeking knowledge there. Yes. So your practice is inner observation, and to get more familiar with that bigger you. Become more familiar with that bigger you. Become more connected with that bigger you. Feel, sense, connect. Become one with that bigger you. And a lot of knowledge will come, a lot of insights, realizations, intuition, everything will open. It's a very beautiful opening. Right, so that's where you're heading. That is your GPS, yes?
So, as I'm trying to follow your instructions, I'm feeling a very deep sadness. At first I thought it was frustration, but it's more of a sadness rising to me. And is that my sadness blocking it, or is it the field that I'm trying to come to?
Yes, it is part of the process.
Okay.
And get to know that sadness, because that sadness will tell you that there is something much more than you were thinking before.
Maybe I can see that you're the after.
Yes, we will see, yes. So just to see that, to recognize, oh, there's actually more than I was thinking about. It is actually much bigger than I was expecting. That is beautiful, isn't it? Yes.
Where I am now is I want to find out.
Yes, you're transitioning now,
my
yes.
Real me.
Exactly, yes.
Not the body that I am in.
Yes. The body is still here and it's totally fine. But the real you is much more than that. So one of the answers that you are seeking is love. Is recognition of love. And love, a bigger love. Not a relationship love, a bigger love. That is one of the very big answers which you're seeking for. And to bring a balance is to attract positive energy, attract more light, attract more love, so that you, as quickly as you can, you would balance out the previous very heavy and negative, dark feelings and energies and thoughts. There is still a little bit of cloud of darkness, but now the light is starting to seep through it.
The way I see it is, when you are born, there is that bulb that is shining, there's nothing. You don't know what bad is. You don't know nothing. Then you start growing up. Through experiences, we might start covering that body with our experiences, and we can paint that light where it becomes dim.
Yes. It's like a canvas. It's like a canvas. When we are born, we are tabula rasa, yes? We're clean, we're pure. And then slowly the mind creeps in. And the mind starts painting these colors and paintings, and it paints so much on this canvas that it can even become a whole black canvas in the worst case. But now you're starting to scrubbing off the paint and coming back again to the white, clean, pure canvas. So that is your true self, the pure, clean light of awareness. That is right at the bottom of every moment. And to help you with particularly where you are now is you need to balance the negative with positive, the dark with light, the fear with love. You need a lot of balancing now so that you come to a place where you feel good, where you feel more permanently, much easier and better. So that is also a big stepping into the light. When you will finish this process, you will come to experience your eternal self, your higher self. So that is called the higher self. That will not be the end yet, but it will be a very beautiful place to be in. It is 10 times more beautiful than where you were before. Yes, yes. Exactly, yes, yes. And children can bring a lot of love in many moments. Yes, yes. Or to make it more clear, when you are the observer, then you ask a question, who is observing? Or who is perceiving the observer? That will help you to really sharpen your awareness. So who is perceiving the observer? And then it's the perception, it's the awareness itself. You know, who is perceiving? The perceiving is perceiving. The awareness is aware. The consciousness is conscious. So every moment of realization will help you to establish yourself in truth. Will help you to establish and step your feet firmly into the light. And sometimes we need quite a lot of steps, in and out, in and out, in and out. And one day we ask, how long is it going to be this in and out? You know, but be patient. So patience is a virtue. And when you mature enough, then that becomes a permanent shift. So practice and do whatever you can to be more in that higher state of being. When you get tired, you can come to see me. And I will always show you how you can establish yourself more permanently. And how you can shift your consciousness. Okay. In Buddhism, there is a very beautiful practice. In Buddhism, there is a very beautiful practice which is called conscious dying.
I've been studying Tibetan Buddhism for 20 years.
Okay, so dying, it can be dying in this present moment, but not dying physically, dying as a false mind. Dying as the mind saying, okay, I'm gonna die now. And just, you could visualize and do a meditation and say, okay, I'm gonna die now, and what's gonna happen next? You see, maybe there is a projection that when I die, this immense love will come, or when I die, it will be perfect. But these are hopes. These are hopes. You have already experienced love. So how about dying to love now? You know, in my case and so many people around me, they have died to love already. They have died to perfection already. And most of them are very young, you know. We're still here, you know. So yes, we have experienced so much love before and bliss. Well, that is my every moment experience, this love and bliss. I no longer seek for it in the future. I found it in the present. I no longer hope for the next lifetime because I completed all lifetimes now. I'm no longer afraid of dying because I'm already have passed away. Everything which was false have passed away. All my future lifetimes have passed away. And I am this light of awareness which is here and now, in a permanent bliss, in permanent love. So there is no future, there is no past. But at the same time I have all the future and all the past. Because the future and the past are the mind. The present moment is now. So in Zen there is also a practice to die in every step. To die in every moment. So every moment to recognize how your mind is focused upon the future, and to invite yourself to be present in the now. Because the perfection which you seek is the perfection of presence, of the present moment. When you're sitting in the beach, when the sunset goes down, it is a moment when the time stops, a moment of perfection. The time is an attribute of the mind, and you can stop the time in your mind, and you will live in permanent perfection, eternally. So what you are seeking is already here, and you don't need to wait to die to find out what is already here. what you have experienced before was a taster of what is already here. So why not you take the whole honey pot?
Couldn't have explained that better than you have done, to be honest.
So that is stepping fully into the present moment, into your beingness. And this is where the consciousness flowers beyond time and space. The consciousness flowers beyond future, beyond past. Our soul travels through the lifetimes so that it would rediscover the source, so that it would return to the present moment. And the soul at certain point becomes illusioned by the future, because the soul then after many lifetimes starts believing that next lifetime will be better. So it starts to ignore God, to ignore the present moment. It starts hoping for next lifetime while not realizing that God is within the heart of the soul. So the soul at one point needs to stop. The soul and the seeking and the future needs to stop. And to see what is already within the heart of the soul. So we as human beings, we always chase for happiness until one day life tells us, stop, meditate, find the real happiness. So our soul, the same way, chases love, perfection and bliss until one day life says, stop, find out love, perfection and bliss right here, right now.
But it's the end. It's the third part of my life now. I have about 10 years, 10 to 12 years left. So I want to prepare myself.
Yes, that is a physical preparation.
Die in the right way. I've got rid of material possessions. I've sold my house.
Yeah.
I want to travel and be free and just do what we're doing now, basically.
Yes. So that, yes, with the old age, we need to prepare the physical departure.
Yes, completely. Yes.
But what I'm speaking about is the spiritual side of it. That there is nothing to prepare, there is nothing to seek for. It is about finding that permanent love, peace and perfection right inside the heart of your soul. So that brings us to the consciousness, that brings us to non-duality, that brings us to enlightenment. In the years when I was practicing, I could see my lifetimes shifting in front of my eyes. I could see how my soul was reviewing its lifetimes. I could see my soul, how it was projecting into the future lifetimes, saying, oh, we're gonna learn this in the future. But something deeper was there, and it said, I'm not gonna wait for my next lifetime to learn this. How about now? So I had the soul reviews going on every few months. And literally I was birthing and dying every few months. Until the future started shrinking. You know, the projection of the soul into the future started shrinking. And the soul came to be more present, more and more present. And when the soul finally returned fully to the present moment, this is where a great explosion and illumination happened. And the soul returned to the source. That is the enlightenment. When all the projections into the future and all the problems of the past become washed away. So the soul returns to the bee house. You know, the soul is at home. So that is my invitation to you. I really honor your preparation because yes, and you're doing a really beautiful work. And at the same time, I want to take care, I want you to know about your soul, to recognize it, and to return even your soul home. And when everything comes home, you will be truly at peace and perfection and love. So that is the invitation to return home. Home is wherever you go. To answer your second part, why Malta is hectic.
My mother was born here, so that's why I came.
Because Malta has a very strong grounding energy. And that probably triggers your base chakra and your belly.
Yeah, I've been ill since I arrived.
Yes, and that causes you a lot of disturbance. But you know, if you would be, it's not easy, I know, but if you would be patient, you would balance yourself. But it's not easy, it's quite hard.
There's no trees here, there's no water, and valleys and flowers. That's what I need.
Yes, we have sun, we have sea, and we have light.
Yes.
You know, that's what we have. A lot of sun, a lot of sea, a lot of light, and a lot of energy. It's like living on the top of the mountain, you know. Malta, Camino Gozo used to be top of the mountains before the water came in. There are stories of how people were walking to Sicily on land. So here was a temple site. Here was the top of the mountain, a sacred place. So the energy is very high, and it can cause a lot of disturbances. If we embrace them, they become the biggest blessings. But at the same time, you need to follow your path. You need to see where you would feel best. You are afraid of not to live?
Yes.
Okay.
So I answered him, yeah. I have so many things that I still want to
Experience
here, that I want to live, and I look for it.
Well, life is still big in front of your eyes, isn't it?
Yeah. I'm still like a child this way, like it shakes me. Yeah.
Okay, so let's stop here. And when you say there is some fear upon the future because you are afraid not to live, you know, so when you will overcome this fear, you will start experiencing life much more fully. Because that fear is like hiding a deeper way of meeting life. That fear of being afraid not to live is hiding love behind it. So when you meet your fears, you win. when you leave your fears inside you, the fear wins.
Totally.
Make sense? Yes. So when you meet your fear, you win. And the fear, you know, in many movies it's depicted, there is a treasure. And who is guarding the treasure? Usually it's a dragon or a monster or something very big and scary. You know, so that is fear. And when you meet that fear, you're gonna find that treasure right behind it. It's always like that. Always. So some years ago I was super excited about meeting my fears. Like, oh, what's the next one? Come here, let's meet up, you know?
It is a nice way to see it, because once you go over it,
you get encouragement, you know, then you say, when is the next one, you know, and you go on, you know. Yes.
And you're more at peace with yourself.
Yes. And the next, and another one is heartbreaks. Yeah. That's also, it was exactly the same story. I broke my heart, and maybe, you know, if it was 10 years ago, it was a bit of, you know, painful. 5 years ago was still difficult. A couple of years ago, I was like, come on, give me more heartbreaks, you know? Every heartbreak gave me more love. Amazing. Every heartbreak gave me more wisdom, more love, more understanding, and more peace. So at one point, I was like chasing heartbreaks, you know?
Interesting.
And then it was about dying. You know, then I was, you know, so I was already quite experienced and already many experiences of near death and this and that. But when I was having a lot of soul reviews, very often, it was about a week or two where every single night I would go into an astral dimension and I would experience different kinds of deaths. One night I would die from a spear, you know, in a medieval ages. Another night I would sink somewhere, you know. Another night I would be in a car accident. Another night something else. And I was like, okay, I'm quite used to it already, you know. So I knew, you know, what's okay, I'm gonna die next night, you know. And this is where my soul said, okay, you know, you are very familiar with dying process, you know. And every moment there comes a bit of like fear of this end. But as you die, like there's peace, you know. When you die, it's, finally. But then, you know, you wake up, you know, it's like, damn it, it's not final. So this is exactly what happens when we even physically die. When we physically die, suddenly we, boom, wake up. We wake up in another place. Well, usually our soul goes to astral dimension or maybe even the heavenly dimension. Usually we're greeted by our loved ones, by our guides, and there we decide what we're gonna do next. So I have seen so many times people in the afterlife. I could see the whole process of how it happens. Some of my relatives were passing away. I would meet them right after in meditations and visions. And after seeing it 20, 50, 100 times, it becomes quite boring, you know. So I said, okay, I need some other things to see, you know. So there is always, so don't be afraid, see Leo, you will never die. Life will never end. But every moment you die and every moment you spend developing your heart and your spiritual self, every afterlife is going to be more and more beautiful. That is for sure. Every next afterlife, if you are spiritually developing yourself, purifying, every afterlife is going to be more and more beautiful. And even now, collectively as a planet, we are being bombarded with so much light, so many high energies from the galactic center. You heard about on the media and people and friends telling about ascension, that we're gonna ascend, we're gonna go to heaven, and it's a new world, it's a new age, it's a, well, the negative ones, they say it's the end of the world, the positive say, well, it's gonna be a new world, so but we are undergoing a tremendous shift, a tremendous transformation. And did you ever kind of think about why suddenly there are so many people on this planet? 1,000 years ago, who is good at history? 1,000 years ago, how many people were on the planet? Maybe close, maybe 20 million. 1,000 years ago, just 5 or 20 millions. 100 years ago, how many people were on the planet? Maybe 2 billion. And suddenly, in one lifetime, in the last 100 years, 7 billion. Suddenly in just 200-300 years, from a few million to 7 billion. Why, what the heck we are all here for, So when you start realizing why all these souls come here, when I understand fully the soul purpose, every soul chooses to come here. If there was nothing important, we wouldn't be here, we wouldn't join the party, So if it wasn't an important time in history, we would have been somewhere else. But 7 billion souls are currently living upon this planet. Human-only souls, because there are animals, many more billions. So suddenly, bam, everybody came here. And we know, our soul knows that we are undergoing a transformation, a quantum leap. We are graduating. Every single soul who is living on this planet now is graduating. So we are ascending, graduating. We might not physically vanish, that's not the news. We're gonna still have bodies and everything else, but our consciousness is graduating. We are awakening. Our souls are graduating. We're temporarily using this body so that our soul can experience it and grow and graduate. So being here on this planet in these days is a very special time. There's still a lot of misery of the daily life, but from the perspective of our soul, we are having a big party.
It's very...
Samara.
Yes. like it gives us hope.
Yeah.
For you to say that, like.
Well, not the country I come from, damn them. It's more oppression and more killing. I live in a war zone.
This is what I mean.
But you are here, not there, huh?
Yeah, but I'm going back in 5 days.
You can always come back here.
with these souls and with this suffering that is in the world, so, and the people that die, and we call them like the bad people because they die killing other people or whatever, they will reincarnate until the soul actually purifies.
Yes. Every bad soul who is still there has an opportunity to purify. If it doesn't use in this lifetime, it's gonna receive it in the next one. And generally speaking, there aren't that many bad souls. You know, we hear about them in the media so often, you know?
Yes.
But generally speaking, maybe it's 1% of population, you know, who are really bad, you know.
There's weak egos as well, right? Or strong egos.
That's another part. Just slower, okay? Slower. So, so every soul also chooses where to incarnate, into which country, into which family. So the souls who incarnated in Afghanistan or in somewhere in the Africa where there is really difficult situation, well, these are the younger souls. For them, it's still an evolutionary cycle. It's still a way of growing. But more older souls, more mature souls, they choose other parts of the world and they become even spiritual. They come to the spiritual awakenings. You know, even I was actually born, my nationality is Lithuanian, but I was born in the SSSR, you know, the Soviet Union. I still remember some tanks and Russians and occupation and this and that. But my life, so when I was 5 years old, it was freedom, independence. You know, the Soviet Union collapsed, all the countries became free. Then, as I was finishing my high school, we joined the European Union. Bigger freedom, you know, go and live anywhere in European Union. And every step of the way, like in the last 30 years, there have been so many changes, you know. European Union came along, globalization, the flight tickets became so cheap. You can fly anywhere for 50 euros, you know. You know, everything is just opening and opening and opening. And the furthest openings are consciousness. We are opening consciously. In the next 10 years, there will be more bigger openings where we will realize as a society, as a humanity, that we are not alone in this universe. There will be official contacts being made. NASA will finally admit that they've been hiding it all the way. All the countries already released the files, and the Chinese and the Russians and Mexicans and Germans, and everybody has already released the documents that aliens exist. Only United States is the last one. And the CIA actually, with the new president, is already releasing all the documents as well. So this fact, you know, is gonna change everything. We're gonna soon realize that we are not living in a small bubble called planet Earth. that there is a huge universe out there, and there are other civilizations out there, and they're so awesome, and most of them are more advanced than us. That's gonna be a big ego hit to humanity. You know, suddenly we're gonna realize that, oh my gosh, we are in kindergarten. You know, from the galactic perspective, we are in the kindergarten. From the galactic eyes, and I know them because I've met with them so many times. If I would count, it would be over 1,000 times that I have communicated with higher beings. And you just come to realize that humans are kids. In the galactic eyes, it's a kindergarten. We don't even know how to take care of ourselves, of our bodies, of our hearts, of our planet Earth. We're nearly destroyed it, by the way, you know? The only place which we live on, we nearly destroyed it, you know? Is like a self-destruction, you know? So it's funny, not funny, you know? But when we're gonna recognize,
It's the greed.
okay, and when we're gonna recognize that other civilizations are far more advanced, it's gonna be a big ego hit, but then we're gonna start learning. And when we're gonna start learning, we're gonna learn fast. And one day we might be equal. One day. So at the same time, that is humanity, but at the same time, within you, you have that potential. Because that is the spiritual evolution. You are coming to meet your higher self now. You are coming to meet the whole galactic presence. You are coming to meet the whole universe. So throughout these evolutionary cycles, it is the expansion of consciousness. So coming back to where I mentioned you before, is how do we evolve, how do we grow? So at first we're little kids, we are human beings. Then we awaken to our higher selves, which is our eternal self, our heavenly body. After that, we awaken to the presence. The presence is non-individual. The presence is holding all higher selves. Billions and trillions of higher selves are being held in presence. That is also known as a galactic consciousness or cosmic consciousness. So you see, at first we are human, we have human consciousness. Then we have higher self-consciousness. Then we have a planetary consciousness, galactic consciousness. As we evolve further, we come to a universal consciousness. And then finally, when we go beyond the universe, we meet God consciousness, or the source. So from where I'm looking now, it's from the source. And I'm looking at this universe, and I can look through these dimensions, and I can see what's happening here. So that is a transparent seeing. It's a clear seeing. And that is disidentification from the body, from the higher self, from this, from that. Completely disidentifying from every form, from every shape, from every energy, and stepping into the source fully. Moreover, the source is looking upon this universe, but the source is not limited to this universe, because every universe comes from the source. The universe born and they die. That is the nature of evolution. This universe was born 14 billion years ago. Now we come a long way, and one day it will die. So there are many universes, and scientists already are starting to see some scientific evidences of multiple universes. So a complete enlightenment leads you beyond the universes, beyond life and death. You're neither afraid to be born nor to die, because when you're at the source, everything is just is.
So, and I'm not the emotion, I just am.
Yes, and relax into that amness. Yes. Very good, yes. So recognize, I just am, without definition, and relax into it.
Yes, I feel like this process is like dying over and over again, shedding those layers over and over.
Yes, yes.
And it's like, am I shedding the same layers or are they new layers?
No, at first you are rusty, you know. So the shedding is very rusty, it's very hard and it's heavy. But then as you're shedding it, it becomes lighter, a bit easier. And you need to remain in that amness. Just knowing I am present, I'm always here. The energies can be strong, the process can be difficult, but it comes and it goes. It comes and it goes.
And it's been going and coming and is it going anywhere?
That's the same like other saying, you know, I'm in and out, in and out, in and out. Yes, you need to mature into it. You need to, your system, your energetic system needs to strengthen so that these energies can flow through. At first, there's, as I said, it comes one huge wave, knocks you down. Another huge wave knocks you down. You stand up, you stay straight. You stay strong. But also, when you experience difficulty, be gentle. Be loving. Always balance yourself quickly. So whenever you have a really difficult time, try to find ways to balance yourself quickly. If you want to pamper yourself, go to a spa. If you want to have a nice dinner, do that. You know, whenever you go through difficult spiritual moments, love yourself, recover as quickly as you can. And bring more softness and gentleness. Yes, you are recognizing these huge, strong waves, but bring softness and gentleness.
It's also, you were talking about identification. It's recognizing that, like, you know, just being reborn constantly, like just rebirthing yourself, is letting go of those identifications.
Yes, yes, yes.
But and then once you let go of them, and then you're in a circumstance, you watch the watcher, judge.
Okay, okay. Also, don't overdo it. You know.
Yeah.
Don't overdo it. So when you have a difficult moment, stop inquiry and find a balance to feel good, to recover. Because if you go into a very difficult spiritual process and you further ask, who is the watcher, who is doing this and that, you're gonna go deeper into the problem. Because your mind is going south and you're further propelling it to go south. You know, don't do that. So when the times are good, inquire. When the times are bad, love yourself.
That's a good one.
then recognize when the energy goes difficult, love yourself, balance. When you feel strong and confident, inquire, deepen, become stronger in presence. So you practice presence when you feel good, when you're strong. When the challenge comes, you need to deal with the challenge and recover as quickly as you can. And then, bit by bit, you're gonna start seeing, oh, I'm more present. I can deal with very difficult situations even better. And you're gonna start recognizing that there is more presence, more presence. We also, you can measure actually the percentage of your presence and to see how you're evolving through this process as well. So you can even, have a guideline of how much more there is to go, in a way. Yeah, so we yes. Now, within your energy system, it's evolving. You're maturing, Just like a tree, imagine, which starts to grow, and at first, if the wind comes, the tree is very weak. But as the tree grows, it becomes stronger. The bark becomes stronger, the roots, you become more rooted in presence. And sometimes we do need these strong winds to blast us away so that our roots go deeper. And one day you start recognizing, one day a shift happens and you complete that part of cycle. And then you're gonna say, oh my God, wow, this is so awesome. And this is where the soul, like at this particular time, the soul is like scrubbing off very deep layers, So the soul is scrubbing off very deep conditionings. But once that finishes, your soul will shine through. And then enlightenment will start knocking on your door.
So to be a soul conditioning, so it's not chakra-based conditioning.
Well, in your case, it's the identification with your energy, your chakras, your kundalini. So once that goes out, you're gonna experience a huge space. And in that huge space, things will be moving, and you're gonna be meeting your soul more and more. And this is where it scrubs itself off, and then the light fully shines through. The light of the soul, and then the light of consciousness itself. There are also different lights, by the way.
So you mean after I managed to do these complicated chakra exercises, I will experience I'm dying several times?
Not necessarily.
It's just the beginning.
We are just one more. My life is good as it is.
All I can say, enjoy the ride, because it's gonna be fun.
We are babies.
Even you recognize, sometimes, yes, when you look upon these difficulties, oh my gosh, it's tough, it's a tough business, To get enlightenment is a tough business, believe me, it's not easy, but you can get there. But then, when you look at it, you say, oh my God, that was the biggest blessings in my life. And you start recognizing, just look back, yesterday, 5 days ago, 1 week ago, 3 months before, how much you learn every single day. You know, how much you learn every single day. You never stop learning. And it goes deeper and deeper and deeper. And the universe reveals itself to you more and more and more. Every day the universe says, look at this, look at that. Get to know me better, you know. Because at the end of the day, God wants you to know God. God wants you to be God. God wants you to know everything. And God wants you to feel love all the time.
That's a long process.
It depends.
Yeah. No, really.
It really depends on your soul. It really depends on your soul. Some people, bam, you know, they come very fast, very quick. Some people take, 5 years, 10 years. I mean, that is still relatively fast.
That's what I was going to say.
Considering, but hold on, considering thousands of past lives being lost and in suffering and in misery. So just think of a bit of a higher perspective. Your soul had thousands of past lives. And what do these 5 years mean to the soul? Nothing.
So we're really stupid, all of us?
I wouldn't say so. But I wouldn't argue either. That's between us, okay?
Our nature is like to suffer, our human nature, and our whole purpose of this journey is to not suffer.
The whole purpose is not to suffer.
Exactly.
Yes. So the whole purpose of the effort to be completely effortless. The whole purpose to know fear is to discover love. So any difficulty which you have now is for the purpose that you find freedom. And when you arrive at that freedom, you're gonna say, oh, that was peanuts. I am loving where I am. You know, when you are in a dark place, it's very tough. But when you get out of it, you see how much you've learned. And then it's important to keep your eyes on the light. If you keep your eyes on the problems, well, you might attract more problems. If you always keep your eyes on light and love, well, that you're gonna attract much more. So even these days, we don't need 20, 30 years of monastic living to be advanced in meditation. You know, just 50 years ago, monks needed 20, 30, 40 years of meditation to experience true love. To experience a moment of bliss. And they say, I experienced the moment of bliss. You know, after decades of meditation. But now, young people coming forward and they're like, after 2 months, bam, there you go, it's there. Give it 1 or 2 years, bliss is on your corner. Wait another 5 years, you're gonna be enlightened. Not only waiting, pardon?
We'll all be Buddhists.
Yes, we're all gonna be Buddhas. Because that's where we are going, into the age of enlightenment. That's where we're heading. Our planet is already in that field of energy of presence and enlightenment. We are just a bit slow to adjust to it. You know, we are taking our time to process our sorrows and pains and miseries, but the planet Earth is already bathing in love, bliss, presence, and enlightenment energies. And these days we receive these blasts of light every few weeks. There was one big blast before New Year, then after New Year, then it was 21st January. Another one is coming very soon. Every week, every couple of weeks, a big blast of light coming our way. So just hold on tight, buckle up, enjoy the ride. Yes, and whenever you have a difficulty, try to see from a bigger perspective. And then you're gonna start realizing how things are actually working. This is where you start seeing the whole puzzle, the whole painting, the whole picture.
One is like, I have sleeping problems. I'm trying to fix. I try everything out and it really works.
You see how your soul is clever.
Yeah.
You see?
I sleepwalk like actions like you all see tonight. Yes. I can't sleep properly. Well, it doesn't happen every time, but every night. It's like I sleepwalk or like I get nightmares. I wake up and I'm like sweating, like my heart is beating.
Yeah, maybe a lot of fear there comes, yes.
And when I analyze my nightmares, I'm not afraid of death. But my nightmares is mainly about like painful death.
Yes.
Because this is the thing we know, everyone will die. You can't avoid it. But like dying in a peaceful way and dying in a painful way is just like two different things. I think there's still things that I have to face or that I have to learn.
Yes, there is quite a lot of fear inside you subconsciously, but slowly you can bring more light, more love to heal that fear. Because that fear is still very evident, it's still very big. And it is quite ingrained into your subconscious mind. And it really says that you have to deal with it, you know? So the fear is not particularly, yes, maybe of a pain, the fear of pain or painful dying, but as you're here, try to feel and see more light. You could do an exercise to visualize that your body is surrounded by a bubble of light.
But what do I find strange is, well, what is this? This is nothing. I mean, I'm not afraid of that because I believe that like
well,
body
you are
energy.
You are afraid of the fear.
Yes, that's the thing.
Yes, that is the thing. And a way out of it is to find the light. When you find the light, then that light illuminates that fear and the fear starts shrinking. Currently, it's still too much fear, and the fear is of the fear. The fear can manifest in many different ways, let's say of pain or of this or of that, but in its essence, you are afraid of the big fear. Like to paint it visually, there is a big cloud of fear in front of you. And one way to help you out is you can visualize that your whole body is surrounded with light, with a bubble of light. And that light is healing that fear. That light is slowly shining upon you. Just imagine like you are in a bubble and that light is slowly just surrounds you. It is already happening even now as you're here, so that fear is still there, but we're gonna deal with it, we're gonna work with it. and very soon you will be able to overcome it. And when you will fully overcome it, then your sleep will be well, the nightmares will go away, and you're gonna start feeling much, much more lighter. Because every person comes to a stage when something pushes them, either a fear or some kind of a big problem. We all have our own ways of how our soul is bringing us to the light. So your soul is bringing you to the light in this way. And you have to find that light and allow that light to surround you, to shine through you, and so that it would heal that fear.
Where does fear come from?
That is a really good question, by the way.
Yeah.
Where does the sadness come from? It's just there. It's just a low vibrational energy. It's a very dense, very dark vibrational energy. It's always there. But if you resonate with it, you pick it up. If you don't resonate with fear, you're not going to touch it.
So you don't speak about your fears?
Pardon?
You don't speak about your fears?
Who?
As in, like, if you have fears that come up and then you talk about them, you're feeding them.
No. If you have a fear and you speak about it, well, that's a way of meeting it. If you hide from the fear, the fear wins. Yes. If you suppress it, or if you hide it, or if you're afraid to meet it, whatever you do to avoid the fear wins all the time.
So I managed 3 weeks ago. Letting it all out there and feeling vulnerable. And the more vulnerable I felt, the more positive energy, the stronger I felt. And it's maybe is letting go as well.
Yes.
And awareness.
Yes.
Letting go.
And at the same time, Sarah, is that, yes, energetically speaking, if you start sensing very difficult energies, there is one way that if they're there, yes, you need to deal with them. But if you're gonna go down the line into these difficulties, don't propel them further, you know? So stop there and heal yourself. Because when the energy arrives, we meet it, but sometimes we meet it in the wrong way, and then we go into it. And then we propel it further. So don't feed it further. Yes, in that case you stop it and heal yourself. Because in many occasions I can actually recognize that when a really big difficulty would come, yes, you would propel it further. Maybe with some asking, who is this or who is that, or that is not the right inquiry, or not the right time for inquiry. Because you don't inquire deeper into the problem, energetically speaking.
So you wouldn't be suppressing it like that?
No, you wouldn't be feeding it.
Okay.
Just let it pass and find the balance right away. Balance yourself. So imagine that you come to the top of the mountain and a cloud is coming towards you. Well, don't let the cloud push you away from the mountain, stand on the mountain. So it comes, it passes, but you remain standing still. You meet it, you see it, but you don't identify with it, you don't feed it, you neither suppress it. It comes, it goes, and you stay there.
Sometimes it just keeps coming back constantly. Like it's, I don't know, it's just me, but you think you let go of something, then all of a sudden it's back.
If it's back, it means you need to become even stronger, to be more present and more stronger. Because just like the anger energy, the anger, it comes, it goes, it comes, it goes, and the next time it comes, it's a bit less. And in a few months, in a few weeks, you see that, oh, the anger is not so strong anymore. You nearly overcame it. So the energies, they always go in cycles. And every time these cycles pass, you become more established in presence. So the lotus flower is a very beautiful symbol, because the lotus flower comes out of the murky, muddy water, and it blossoms into the most beautiful flower.
But now I'm realizing that only now I can feel I'm strong enough.
Yeah, now you complete, there was a point a month or two or so ago when you shifted out of it. But now, as you are stepping into enlightenment consciousness, now you fully start realizing every aspect of presence. And therefore, now you can fully declare that now I'm fully present. Like receiving a graduation certificate. So you're done,
So what I can say with this, only few days of fully experiencing presence. Presence is kind of a strong presence. So whatever comes along, you kind of can remain rooted.
Yes, rooted, exactly,
So
that's...
no matter if the wind comes, I'm kind of rooted. But
exactly.
It's only because of presence is kind of here.
Yes.
So, because as you say as well, it's not me, it's not my energy, but this greater force is moving me and holding me every moment.
Yes.
And it's like really strong. It's not as easy to be moved by any emotion or anything.
Yes.
So I'm just really completely seeing this huge shift, which is like,
yes.
right, yes.
Yeah, so anything that comes your way, you are unmoving, unmoved. So this is why I always talk about the example of the tree. This is why the presence is like a tree. Even Jesus was speaking about the tree, that like a mustard tree, that you plant a seed and then it grows. And when the tree is big and strong, then no wind will touch it, no rain will touch it. It becomes so strong that you are beyond duality. Beyond this and that, beyond ups and downs. So being fully present means being in non-duality. And when duality is still functioning here very much, but you are very strong. So you still allow the duality seemingly to play its game, but you are very strong. That is when you stand at the top of the mountain and you don't move from it. you're at the top of Himalayas permanently. Yeah, this is why it's not easy, but we are speaking now about a very advanced, very advanced spiritual practice. But our group in Malta is very advanced, so we have to do it, all together. And this is where only the most brave and the most mature souls step onto the spiritual mountain and they don't move. Many souls still enjoy running around the mountain and living in valleys and, doing all the stuff. But the most spiritual advanced souls, they go right to the top of the mountain and they stay there. They don't move. And from that place, mountains are always spiritual. So when we are at the top of the mountain, we can see everything. And it's the most beautiful view ever.